Hi, Chris. It's Wednesday, November 17th. So, first thing, you're getting a lot better about responding quickly to my videos, and I'm getting a little bit worse about responding quickly to yours. So, I'm going to go ahead and try to match what you're now doing and respond more quickly. Also, props on learning or improving your typing skills as far as typing numbers. I still suck at that. So, gold star, badge, it's yours. Another little prop to you is you mentioned there were some things that I talked about as far as what you're doing for education and scholarships and paying for school and stuff, the splitting, that was a thing you appreciated. Well, you kind of motivated me too. I'm starting to write a little bit a book that I'm calling The Things That I Hope I've Taught My Kids. And basically the goal is that I'm going to contribute to it on a regular basis throughout the time from now when I'm thinking about having kids to the time that they're 18. And it's not going to be quite the same thing as what you're doing for Annika and for Corbin. But it's basically just going to be a collection of things, tips and thoughts and philosophies and just general thoughts about life that I think that they should know that would help them lead a better life. That's about all I have as far as things that are going on, but I wanted to discuss something else with you. So, actually, the day of the wedding, a bunch of sites, the day of and day after, a bunch of sites came out with info about Google developing a car that will drive itself. You can just Google for Google car and find all kinds of stuff. But basically, yeah, it drives itself. It's done like 140,000 miles in the greater San Francisco area, and it's pretty cool. It doesn't have to have anyone in it doing anything. They've only done drives with it being piloted, but it could, in theory, and the goal, of course, is to make it so that it drives completely without human intervention or assistance. Basically, it's powered by actual vehicles that go out and record streets and whatnot, and get that information back to the computer that drives the car, and then that combined with a bunch of sensors, lasers, and cameras and whatnot that actually help the car while it's driving know what's around it in the immediate vicinity. So you have the high level navigation and the lower level immediate on the scenes. Okay, there's a car right in front of me. I need to slow down. And the reaction time is supposed to be really good, something like 300 milliseconds to react to being cut off or whatever, which I'm sure is way less than what the average person even does. So that's all good. And I think that this has interesting implications. Once this technology, which Google's not the first ones who have done it, DARPA has had a couple of challenges where they've had research projects geared toward developing this kind of car, and there have been various other organizations that have worked toward it as well, with varying levels of success. I think Google's at least the one that's been the most public. But in the end, someone's going to do it. Someone's going to make a car that will drive itself completely and not need human intervention at all. And I'm kind of thinking that it'll probably happen in the next, I'd like to say 10 years, but I'm going to go ahead and say 20. It just isn't outside. But the thing is, what I think that will lead to is something that has been a subject of science fiction for a long time, but it is kind of an impossible thing for right now, and that is the flying car. Where am I going with this? So the thing about the flying car right now, as we drive our cars today, you couldn't safely have a flying vehicle. It's just not possible. You can't have something that's piloted that you or I or any random person can drive, because it's not safe. And it's not going to be something that people are able to do on a large scale, a large population of people, in such a way that it's going to be safe. Even though if the vehicles can fly, there's going to be too many catastrophic accidents for that to happen. But if you enter into a world where people don't drive, where the cars drive themselves and just go where the people say, once that becomes an accepted practice, once that's the way things work, well, then flying cars are easy, because you just have extra sensors that detect other dimensions, and it just takes a slightly more powerful computer to, account for those extra variables. It's cake. And I predict that it will happen as a next step after the automated cars are like what we're used to. So if we say 20 years for the automated car, I'll say 50 years for a flying car. Mark it down on your calendars, 50 years. So 2060, we're going to have flying cars. I guess that's a little bit further out than a lot of the predictions that were made, but I think it's a realistic time frame. And I frankly can't wait to be retired and floating around in my flying car. Chris, don't forget to be awesome.